Yeah, go for it.
New Mexico Supreme Court has determined medical cannabis products are not subject to tax. There you go. Out of Albuquerque. New Mexico Supreme Court has determined that medical purchases should be treated like any other medication and not be subject to New Mexico's gross receipts tax. Ultra Health, the New Mexico cannabis company, submitted an amicus brief to the New Mexico Supreme Court last year to demonstrate the legal basis for medical cannabis should be untaxed, just like any other prescription in that state, and they won. What do you think about that, Miggy?
That's the way it should be. And that's how I was hearing.
Man, hey, StreamYard stuff is okay until you start bossing it around. Then it just does stuff that's weird.
I admit that I'm button retarded when it comes to these things, but you know, this is how it should be as far as like medicine, right? I mean, they don't tax Viagra, so why should they even tax your back medicine or your mood medicine, whatever you're using it for? Because cannabis is a multi-diverse plant. But my question is, so, and again, just being the pessimist, dude, is how long before? Because now they got recreational, the laws of the recreational cartel squeeze out the medical side, because that's what happened here in Washington. They had all these bills that passed called the Patient's Right and the Patient's Care, whatever. But all it did was kill the medical market that was out here. They kneecapped it. They found all these different ways to do it, and now it's a small fraction of what it used to be.
Well, I don't think that's going to be happening in New Mexico. However, they're making their program for adult use very open. So it may just be more difficult to become a producer of cannabis products for a medical patient than it is for an adult use customer.
But you've seen it already in Oklahoma, where the dollar signs, because it's tax-free in Oklahoma too, I believe. Well, I believe the shops are paying the taxes. I mean, they have a structured market, but there's a recreational side of people eyeballing it. I can see that. You can see that already with the lawsuits coming through, the bills that they've been trying to pass. You know, the Oklahomans have been doing a good job of stopping a lot of these bills, but you know, greed. That's the thing, right? Like you said, you can bury 98% of the population in lawsuits. You know, and how a lot of these guys, you know, just want to try and get into this is crazy. Or how like your market's stymied right now because of all the lawsuits.
And then it's not just the lawsuits; it's also the size. I mean, like we can't throw up a $350,000 cultivation facility and say, "Let's go." We have to throw up a $5, $6, $7 million cultivation facility, and that's your entry model, the social equity license.
I'm seeing they say they pay taxes in Oklahoma, so there's still the greed end of it, because people want to come in from out of state. They're eyeballing that market. You know,
People love money.
Yeah.
They do so many dirty, terrible things for money. I mean, I'm sure we could be like, hey, you want some money? And that would be like a bit on YouTube. And then we would have some money and then ask what people would do for it. We would get canned from YouTube. They'd be like, you can't do that anymore.
No, there's people who do that all the time. Hell, one of the popular channels, Cut TV, they do that, where it's like $1,000, 10 people decide. Or who's that?
How do you think they treat us if we tried to do it? It's like, hey, what would you do for $1,000? $1,000 dab challenge. What happened to cannabis legalization news? Oh, they tried to give away money.
Oh, I think we gave away $1,000 worth of weed. That'd be the issue.
Well, we aren't doing that. We
I'm saying that would be
$1,000 worth of money away in a dispensary to somebody who's 21. You're like, here you go. What do you got to use it on?
No, for real, people would shoot their mother.
Seriously, speaking of like loopholes outside of the system, there's what's going on in New York. I'm not sure if you've heard about that stuff.
Oh yeah, Empire Cannabis Club.
Empire Cannabis Club. I wonder how long before these are going to start getting regulated. Let's see. This is the first NYC recreational marijuana dispensary is open. Officially legalized marijuana, they allow smoking in it, and then they don't have any dispensaries. So this really isn't a dispensary, no matter what these people are trying to say about this. This website is kind of crazy.
A lot of the back door, or a lot of the, like you said, the loopholes things is, private club. A lot of people say, or BYOB. That's going to be another one too.
Right. BYOB is what they think is a thing, but no, it's This is not a dispensary. There's no licenses that have been issued by New York, and then New York's regulators are starting to send cease and desist letters to those pot shop operators, like that are just sprung up and started selling. Of course, meanwhile, in New York State, the indigenous people at the tribal areas have just leapt ahead of the competition and started opening their own stores.
As they should. I never understood why the tribes wait. They could have legalized it this whole time. Like, why? Why are they even waiting for permission? Like, the nation has its own, like self-governing / rules. So why do they wait? I just never understood that. Between all the, I have a friend who's up north, South North Dakota, but they would do peyote on when he was on leave, and that was excused. And it blew my mind. I'm like, so the sacrament is okay, but all the Jamaican guys are screwed.
Oh yeah, that sucks. You know what the Jamaican guys would probably enjoy, though? I mean, it does suck that they're locked out of that.
Right on.
All right, and we're Audi 5000.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for hanging, everybody. Don't forget to join the channel.
All those members. I got Tasha saying hi.